I'm nearly numb to it now. I didn't even bother commenting on that tweet the other day where he said, if I had, even if that terrible shooting, I'd probably have gone in there even if I didn't have a weapon. That's what a 10-year-old says. I could beat up a lion. I could fight a lion if I had to.
You know, I really believe, you don't know until you test it, but I think I really believe I'd run in there even if I didn't have a weapon. And I think most of the people in this room would have done that too, because I know most of you. But the way they performed was really a disgrace.
Ricky Gervais doesn't need a podium, a political party, or a press secretary to get his point across. All he really needs is a microphone, his razor-sharp wit, and a memory that never seems to forget. Those are the tools he's used for years, especially when it comes to Donald Trump. So when you see a headline saying Ricky Gervais destroyed Trump, it's not really about one big moment or a single joke that changed everything. What you're actually seeing is the latest chapter in a long-running roast that's been building for years, with Gervais returning to the same idea again and again, finding new ways to poke fun at Trump with the same sharp perspective and fearless style.
But I've also never been interested in politics till the last sort of couple of years, and now I am. Now I can't wait for him to wake up and tweet.
Yeah, well, we have to be.
Do you know what I mean?
Because something is.
Oh, I think
a
so.
lot at stake,
It's made everyone grow up.
Absolutely.
Everyone just thought, well, politics is something that some grown-ups do and they're paid for it and we'll be fine, right?
Right.
But now we go, who's in charge? He's doing what?
Yeah.
You know, it's like an experiment that went wrong. It's like when a teacher says, well, okay, you be in charge then. And then she goes, oh God, I shouldn't have said that. Look what's happened. They burnt down the lab. You know, it's like, it's odd. It's really strange.
Power has always struggled with being laughed at, and nothing exposes hypocrisy faster than a well-timed joke. The best comedy doesn't stop to ask for permission. It simply tells the truth and lets the punchline do the work. In this video, we're taking a closer look at how Ricky Gervais has kept Donald Trump and the ideas surrounding Trumpism firmly in his crosshairs, whether through his stand-up specials, late-night interviews, or the sharp, sarcastic comments he shares on social media. We'll also explore why so many people believe his perspective stands out and cuts through all the noise. If you enjoy honest commentary with a little humor mixed in, make sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next deep dive.
But no, she's a special person. She's got great common sense, great spirit. She loves our country and she loves the people in this room. Tulsi Gabbard.
David Brent is not Trumpian per se. Like, he has some qualities that people could see, like, read into it and say.
He is like Trump, but the big difference is that Trump's a winner. You know, Trump gets his own way, and David Brent doesn't. Because deep down, David Brent is sort of a nice guy who just wants to be one of the gang. He doesn't have to be the best, he just wants to be in the ballpark. Do you know what I mean? He wants to be on the team.
Yeah.
I'll tell you everything you need to know about Donald Trump.
I wasn't political till about 6 months ago. I wasn't interested in politics.
Yeah.
But now I'm just fascinated. Let's not talk about him though.
That's fine. Let's talk about you.
Ricky Gervais has never needed to shout or lose his temper to make a point about Donald Trump. Even back in 2016, when many people still treated Trump's campaign like a political spectacle that would eventually fade away, Gervais was already making fun of the performance behind it all. He used Twitter the way a comedian uses a stage, delivering short, sharp, and unsentimental jokes that went straight for the ego. While other celebrities were posting long, carefully written statements, Gervais kept it simple. A few well-placed lines were enough to paint Trump's rallies as a traveling show, where the funniest part wasn't the audience laughing, but the performer completely believing his own act while happily collecting the ticket money.
Never been anything quite like it, but Trump has more in common with David Brent than he has JFK. You know, he's a man who wants to be loved, who wants to be famous. You know, he was the host of The Apprentice.
Yeah.
You know, and he's clearly more ruthless than David Brent. And I think that's the difference. It's just harder. It's harder to have sympathy with it. I just want to see a channel 24/7, just him talking, because it's amazing. I love it. He doesn't mean to be funny. That's the beauty of it. But I think, what if we just told him he got in? Okay. And yeah. So he gets up every day. right? And he does a little address, and we go, yeah, it's brilliant, the president, hi, president. And they're all extras.
Right.
They're all extras. And he just never knows. He was never president.
And we're filming it and watching it.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be amazing.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I think he'd be up for it.
I bet he would.
Ricky Gervais has always had a talent for cutting to the flattering stories people tell themselves and asking a simple question. Do you even hear what you're saying? In 2016, that approach naturally focused on Donald Trump because his voice dominated every conversation and the reaction to it seemed impossible to ignore. And if you thought Gervais would ease up once Trump became president, that's not how he works. Instead, he expanded his focus. He wasn't just making jokes about Trump as a person. He was taking aim at the culture and the atmosphere that helped make Trump's rise possible. He mocked the outrage machine that turned every controversy into another headline and every headline into more attention, feeding the constant cycle of publicity that Trump seemed to thrive on.
Eva Longoria and America Ferrera aren't just beautiful, talented actresses. They're also two people who your future president, Donald Trump, can't wait to deport.
Gervais wasn't just taking shots at one person. He was challenging the entire system around him. He pointed the finger at the media, the supporters, and even the critics, highlighting an uncomfortable reality that attention is what keeps the whole machine running. In his view, every headline, every argument, and every viral moment only added more fuel to the fire. That a much deeper criticism than a typical joke. And it's one of the reasons his comments have continued to resonate years later. Now here's a question for you. Do you think the media should have given Trump less coverage as events unfolded, or was that level of attention unavoidable because he was a president? There's no single right answer, but your opinion says a lot about what kind of accountability you expect from the news and media you choose to follow.
Fair fight. Or my dad could.
Yeah.
My dad could wrestle a lot.
Exactly.
So, and then there was that picture of him with his own kid. He wouldn't even use his umbrella. He was walking up the aeroplane steps with an umbrella over his head, and his kid's getting rained on. But this is the man that would go in to protect other people's children.
Of course,
with his
this is a
bare
man
hands
who
from
had to be
shooter.
helped down the stairs, right? This is a man who was scared of a tame eagle. So this is not a brave man.
But he believes it, though, doesn't he? That's the weird.
I don't know if he
thing.
does.
You know, just...
I think he's got that childlike narcissism that he sort of, if he says it, it sort of might be true. But I think there's a bit of troll about him.
And there's no one in his life to tell him that he's being a wazzock.
He's never had to do or achieve anything.
If there's one TV moment that perfectly captures Ricky Gervais's approach to Donald Trump, it isn't an angry rant or some carefully scripted confrontation. It's his appearance on The Late Show during the final stretch of the 2016 election, where he explained why Trump's rallies seemed to work on their own strange, over-the-top terms. He wasn't cheering them on, and he wasn't simply attacking them either. He was breaking them down, looking at them like a comedian studying another performer. In many ways, that kind of analysis can be far more damaging than pure outrage. The moment a comic starts exposing performance as just that, a performance, the image begins to fade, and the illusion starts to lose its power.
In his life, this is a man who's, people fell for him because he was a good businessman. Well, actually, someone looked at it, right, and they worked out that if he'd have just put his inherited wealth on the top 50 stocks, he'd be $6 billion richer than he is. So he's effectively lost money over his...
There was a libel. Someone said he's not a real billionaire. He sued them and lost.
Ricky Gervais never wasted time acting shocked or outraged over broken political norms. Instead, he focused on explaining how spectacle can overwhelm them and turn everything into entertainment. That's always been his style. He takes something that seems chaotic or absurd, strips away the noise, and gives it back to the audience in plain, straightforward language, making you think, now I get it. That calm, analytical approach often hits harder than an emotional outburst because it exposes a performance instead of just reacting to it. So let me know what you think. Do you prefer that precise, almost clinical style of comedy, or do you like comedians who go all out with an aggressive, no-holds-barred approach? It's a debate that genuinely divides people, and I'd love to hear where you stand.
Well, you wouldn't even have to tell him, right? You would just say...
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a year in, you'd say, here's the thing, it's been fake, but the ratings are huge. And he'd go, very good, I'll keep doing it, I'll keep doing it.
Yeah, I don't. Every day he says something that. Well, it doesn't shock me anymore. It doesn't shock me anymore.
No, it doesn't.
After the first 1,000 crazy things he said, even this week, he is fighting a prisoner of war with brain cancer and a war widow who's 6 months pregnant. That's the president fighting these people
on Twitter. Yeah,
that's amazing.
No, it's
think of it.
Yeah, sometimes you sit back and think, and you take it for granted. But we all get used to dysfunction, and there's something when you step back for a second. Yeah, it really is.
You really can't talk about Ricky Gervais during the Trump era without bringing up the 2020 Golden Globes. Even though that opening monologue was aimed mostly at Hollywood's hypocrisy, corporate virtue signaling, and the tech billionaires who like to present themselves as humble heroes, a lot of people still connected to Trump. It wasn't because Gervais filled the speech with jokes about Trump. He actually didn't. It was the attitude behind it. He refused to flatter the rich and powerful people sitting just a few feet away, and that's what made the moment stand out. At a time when so many public figures and institutions seem more concerned with keeping access and staying in everyone's good graces, Gervais did what he's always done whenever he's faced a room full of influential people. He reminded them that audiences can tell when someone is holding back. The real tension in that room wasn't about whether a joke would land. It was about what honest comedy might reveal.
You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking. I never did. So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and so, it's already 3 hours long.
Then there's Humanity, the Netflix special that isn't a Trump special, but absolutely belongs to the Trump timeline. Jerry spends a chunk of it on 10:0410 minutes. For seconds outrage culture, the giddy addiction to offense, the way social media slaps dopamine on every hot take, and the way people confuse being loud with being. 10:13 minutes. 13 seconds right. He didn't need to put Trump's name in bold to connect the dots. The special basically explains why a man like Trump could float on a tide of constant attention.
Yeah, I know, and I want people to know that I don't judge people who voted for him like I judge him. You know, I think.
There were reasons for it.
They're victims too. They were sold a lie. You know, I don't understand why people fell for this. We're going to drain the swamp of this liberal elite from a man who lives in a gold house.
NBC clearly don't care either. 5th time. So, I mean, Kevin Hart was fired from the Oscars because of some offensive tweets. Hello. Lucky for me, the Hollywood foreign press can barely speak English, and they've no idea what Twitter is. So I got offered this gig by fax. So let's go out with a bang. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all gonna die soon, and there's no sequel. So, yeah, remember that. But you all look lovely, all dolled up. You came here in your limos. I came here in a limo tonight, and the license plate was made by Felicity Huffman. So, no, shush. It's her daughter I feel sorry for, okay? That must be the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to her.
This is where a lot of people get the wrong idea. So it's worth clearing up. Ricky Gervais isn't a comedian for Democrats, and he isn't some Republican rebel either. What really drives him is consistency. He's just as willing to mock the left's self-righteousness as he is the right's fantasies. If you're selling yourself as morally superior or claiming that complicated social problems can be solved with simple slogans and strongman politics, you're probably going to end up as one of his targets. That's also why some people mistakenly assumed he supported Trump simply because he criticized woke Hollywood during interviews. But that misses the point completely. Gervais doesn't care which political team you belong to or what side you're cheering for. What matters to him is whether your arguments actually hold up when they're put under scrutiny.
Made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and...
But it's just weird for like somebody like you to go from like the Golden Globes, where you were making the Hollywood liberal elite kind of upset with you because you were making fun of them, and that was a bit of your reputation, to being critical of Trump, which means you are now the Hollywood liberal elite.
Of course, it's all mixed up. People want to know whose side you're on before they decide what you said was funny or good or right. They've picked a side.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So people who like Trump will not see any bad in anything he does. He said himself, I could shoot someone off Fifth Avenue, and he's right, you know. And the other side won't see any good in what he does because they, you know what I mean? So it's they don't want to. There's this new thing of winning is more important than being right.
Right.
And it started with social media, and it started with political correctness, where people now believe, they quite rightly believe their opinion is worth as much as someone else's opinion.
Yeah. Quite rightly, you just said to be
well,
polite.
some people are idiots. Like, let's be honest. No, but even if your opinion is worth as much as someone else's opinion, people now think their opinion is worth as much as other people's facts.
That's exactly why Ricky Gervais's commentary during the Trump era tends to hit so hard. It doesn't sound like it came from a political party, a campaign memo, or a media strategy meeting. It comes from a much older comedy tradition. The idea that everyone is fair game, especially the people with the most power. And yes, that includes Trump himself. When Trump pushed the idea that all of his critics were just bitter losers looking for attention, Gervais turned that argument back around on him. He basically suggested that Trump was the one constantly searching for his own name, treating ratings like a moral achievement, and valuing the size of crowd more than the substance of policy. That kind of reversal is classic Gervais. He didn't need to use dramatic labels or compare Trump to some historical villain to make the point. Instead, he used a word that cuts much deeper for someone obsessed with image and status, needy.
And it's the world gone crazy. The alternative facts. What? We used to call them lies.
Yeah.
What do you mean alternative facts?
Right. And anything you don't agree with that you see, well, fake news.
Fake news.
That's fake news. That's not.
I know.
That's not the news.
I like alternative facts, though. Girls like, you said you were going to tell me that was an alternative fact.
Well, it's dangerous, isn't it, that you can have alternative facts?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And again, I've sort of seen this happening for like 2 or 3 years on Twitter when you do get to meet people you wouldn't normally meet, you know, unless you went to a mental home. But now I can follow them from the safety of my Hampstead mansion. Oh, you're mental. You know. But they don't like facts. It annoys them. I found out when I went on Twitter, I found out that the atheists are the most hated group in the world. Right? You know, they're people think atheists. There was a
just
poll,
for believing nothing.
just for not believing. Yeah. They were voted least trustworthy group in America, joint bottom with rapists.
How about rapist atheists? They were the highest, actually, ironically.
Yeah. You find out things like that from Twitter, but you mainly find out that the average person is scarily misinformed.
Before we wrap things up, there's one important point to make. Everything we talk about today, from Ricky Gervais's on-air comments and stand-up material to his famous award show monologues and interviews where he explained that criticizing Hollywood doesn't mean supporting Trump, comes from publicly available information, full video clips, transcripts, and reports from mainstream sources. This isn't just based on rumors or online reactions. It's something people can actually look into and verify for themselves. And that matters because the world of politics, media, and comedy is filled with edited clips, fake narratives, and outrage taken out of context. Our goal is to keep looking at the details so you can form your own opinion with the full picture in front of you. Now it's your turn. Why do you think Ricky Gervais's commentary on Trump and the Trump era connects with so many people? Is it because he consistently mocks power no matter who holds it? Is it because he refuses to flatter anyone, including his own audience? Or is it because he exposes the attention-driven culture that helped create the moment in the first place? Maybe it's simply because laughter has a way of cutting through the noise and revealing what's happening on the stage. Share your thoughts. Keep the conversation going. And let's keep it honest, open, and when the moment calls for it, completely fearless.